Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be making this really beautiful baby dress with pearl beads and bow in front, and this is actually how the decoration actually turned out to be. It's really beautiful. So if you're interested to know how I made this, please continue watching, like this video, subscribe, and also share the video to anyone you know the video will be of help to. Thank you so much and keep watching the video till the end. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to fold the fabric into two, just the same way you see like this. I'll be cutting the front before the back, so I'm using my ruler to mark a straight line at the upper side, which will serve as my starting point. Okay, I'm cutting the half length before the down part of the dress. So the next measurement I'll be taking is her half length. Her half length is 13 inches, but I will not be marking it exactly at that 13 inches. I'm adding extra 1 inch, making it to be 14 inches, half an inch for sewing at the downside and half an inch for the shoulder side. So I'll go ahead and mark the 14 inches down and then connect a line to the other side, starting from that marked line from the starting point at the upper side. I'll just mark 13 inches and then draw it a straight line all the way to this other side. So guys, the next measurement I'll be taking is her shoulder measurement. Her shoulder is 13 divided by 2. I'll go ahead and divide it and then mark the 6.5 there. I added half an inch for sewing allowance. So the next measurement I'll be taking is her neck width. So the neck width I'll be making use of is 3 inches. I actually want it to be wide, so you can make use of 2.2, 2.5. So the neck depth I'm still making use of 3 inches. So I'll go ahead and connect it all the way to this other side. So when I'm actually done, I'll go ahead and like move down from there by half an inch for shoulder slope. From where the shoulder actually stop, I'll go ahead and connect it with my ruler, just the same way you see like this. And then the next measurement I'll be taking is the armhole. I'm making use of the armhole of 5.5 inches. I'll go ahead and connect a straight line all the way to the 5.5 inches. After marking it, I'll go ahead and connect a straight line from there, which will actually serve as the chest line. I'll just mark a straight line and connect it all the way to the other side. So the next measurement is a round bust measurement. Her round bust is 25. I'll divide it by 4. I'll go ahead and mark it over there, and then I'll be adding 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. So when I'm actually done, I'll also be dividing her waist measurement by 4. Her waist is 24 inches. I will divide it by 4 and then mark 1.5 for sewing allowance as well. I'll go ahead and connect it to the bust point. And next is that I'll go ahead and divide the 5.5 inches by 2. It's 2.5. I'll be marking the midpoint from there. I'll mark the midpoint, which is 2.5 inches, and then I'll be going in by half an inch, and then I'll go ahead and carve it all the way to the upper side where the shoulder slope actually stop. I'll just carve it like that, and then I'll go ahead and cut out everything now. So guys, I'll actually be using this front piece as a template to cut the back piece. So I folded the back piece by 2 as well. So I'll go ahead and place the front piece on it like this. So the difference is that this one actually has zip allowance at the other side, and then the neck depth is going to be different. So I'll go ahead and cut out from the downside is going to be the same from the side, and the armhole of the back is also going to be slightly different. So I'll go ahead and cut it out to make sure that the fabric is on a straight line, and then I'll go ahead and mark the back neck depth of about 1.5 inch, and then this is also depending on your own preference. You can make use of 1 inch or 1.5. So I went ahead to mark the 1.5 inch. So I'll go ahead and connect it all the way to the neck width and connect it to the zip allowance and cut it out. And I'll cut from the shoulder, and then from this armhole I'll just replace the half an inch that I took out from the front and then cut the side. And I'll go ahead and knot it to know exactly where the zip allowance actually stops from the down and the upper side. So guys, this is actually how the front piece actually looks like. See how it looks like, and then I have these 2 back pieces as well. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to cut the downside as well, the part that is going to complete the downside with a gather. So her full length is 41 inches. So I'll go ahead and minus 13 inches at the upper side of this dress before completing it at the downside. So you see that it's about 42 inches. So it was actually 42 inches and a half before, but I used the half an inch to fold the down part of the dress. So I minus the 13 inches of half length, and then I got the full length with extra sewing allowance. So the wideness of the downside, which will actually be forming the gathers, is 24 inches times 5 plus 16 inches. That's her waist is 24, so I actually times it by 5 and then 16 extra inches. And because it was not enough, I had to join it at some point to get the full length that I want. You can make the waist times 6, times 7, 8, depending on how full you want it to be. And I also went ahead to actually sew on my sewing machine to create a gathers, to actually make a gather. So I'm just going ahead to draw it to like make the gathers to form. So guys, for the front and the back, I will go ahead and cut lining, 2 lining for the back and then 1 for the front, and then go ahead and turn the neckline and the sides as well, and the downside, so that I will not have rough edges. So guys, for the sleeve, I've actually gone ahead to cut a basic sleeve, short one, and I've also gone ahead to cut this big one, which will actually be forming the puffy sleeve. And then the extension from there is about 5.2 inches. The more it extends, the more puffy, like how it will form. So for the upper side, I have about 5 inches, and then for this other side as well, it's a bit up more than the normal basic sleeve that is there. So I'll go ahead and cut the downside and the side. I've already like marked everything, so I'll just cut the downside. I placed both the left and the right hand side of the sleeve, so by the time I open it, I'll have the 2 sleeves. So that was the only material remaining for me. So if you have a material that is more wide, from here I actually marked 5.2. You can make it to be 8 depending on how puffy you want it to be, and it will be really nice. So I'll just go ahead and notch it from those points there. So this is actually how this piece looks like. There are 2, like I said, there are 2. So the more wide it is, the more it will form the puffy. So this basic one is going to be the lining. It's going to be lining for the inner side. And then for this front and back piece, I've gone ahead to sew it and then turn it all the way. So the only place that is not turned is the armhole. So I've gone ahead to join at the shoulder as well and then iron it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be sewing by the side. So I also went there to create this long rope, which is about 22.2 inches, and then the width is about 1.7 inch. That's after I finish sewing and turning it over. So I have the 2 of them, one for the left and one for the right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be making the loose stitch at the zip allowance from there, and then when I'm done, I'll place it with the right sides facing each other like that, and then I'll insert my measurements and then sew by the side. But before I sew, I'll be placing these long ropes. I will just place it like that facing the right side. I'll place it like that. I'll leave about half an inch from the downside because it's going to be sewing allowance there, and then I'll sew it and then do the same thing to the other side as well. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to make gathers for the downside, and I also hem the down part like I said before. So I gather it to the length of the whole full length of her waist. So, and I also bought this hard net I'll be using for the inner as well, so that it will like push it out a bit, it will not be too flat. And I bought a lining, a maroon lining as well, because I did not see red. So the full length of this net is 19 inches, and then the length of the lining I'll be making use of is 24 inches. I already went there to mark it down, 24 inches. By the time I like fold the downside, I'm going to have like 23 or so, because I'm not weaving it, I'm just going to fold and hem the downside of the lining as well. So the net is actually shorter than the lining, and then the lining is also going to be shorter than the main piece, because the main piece is about 28 inches, that's minus 13 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut it, and then I'll also be adding the extra lining at the side to make it to be more long, because I'll also be making a gathers for it as well. So guys, after I was done sewing the upper side, this is actually how it looks like. So I will just go ahead and mark the midpoint of it. I'll mark the midpoint with my chalk from this good side, and then I'll bring this main piece and then place it on it. I'll also mark the main piece at the middle to place it exactly with this one. So I will just adjust it to fit in on this upper side, and then I'll place it in the middle, just the same way you see me doing like this. I'm actually done. I'll also bring the net. I also went ahead to make gathers for the net as well. I'll just adjust it as well to fit in, place it in the middle as well, just the same way I did to the main piece. And then the lining, I'll bring the lining, but the lining I'm going to be placing it in a different way. The right side of the main fabric is facing the right side of the upper side, but the lining is going to be facing the wrong side. I'm placing it on the wrong side of the upper part, and then I will sew it. So by the time I turn it, it will just cover the hard net that is from inside, so that it will not make her feel uncomfortable. It will be disturbing her from inside. So I'll place it like that and neatly arrange it and pin it down, so that by the time I take it to sew, it will be much more easier for me. I'll sew from the both sides. So guys, after sewing it, I also took it to go and fix the pearls, the beads on the dress. So as you can see here, I was just fixing the beads on the main fabric. So when I'm done, I will also do the same thing on the sleeve as well, because as you can see on the video, there is the beads are also on the sleeve of the dress. So this is actually how it looks like. You see how the dress is looking. So I will continue fixing it on the sleeve, the two sleeves as well, but I'll not be fixing it close to where I'll be sewing. So guys, after I was done sewing, this is how it looks like. I just want to show you guys, because after sewing it, I have 3 layers: the main one, the hard net, and then the lining. I also went there to fix the zip on the dress as well. So this is actually how it looks like. So now I'll be fixing the sleeve. I also went there to gather the sleeve both up and down. So the mistake I made was that I had to reduce the 5 inches that I added, so it was not really as puffy when I was done. And this was my first time of doing the sleeves, so like I kind of struggled with it a bit. So, and I also made this bow as well, so I'll be fixing it with my hand needle. And I also went ahead to fix the sleeve, the two sleeve on the dress as well, and the bow as well with my hand needle. So this is basically how the whole dress looks like. From the back, it has these 2 long ropes that she will actually tie at the back, and then the front, it has the bow design and then the pearls as well. So this is basically how the gown looks like. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you are watching and you're still here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also share the video to anyone you know the video will be of help to. Thank you, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.